So, for this activity, you can download this file. The link is in the description below. And the idea is that we're going to consolidate our understanding of numbers and the numbers that we're dealing with that directly relate to the pitch window. So if you've followed the last few videos, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched those videos, then perhaps you might want to watch them before you begin this exercise. Now this is a dub tune, and the idea here is that we've got a fixed bass line, which is in channel 1, and we're going to be altering its pitch via the use of the pitch plugin, and we'll be typing in a variety of numbers. So I'll go through those in a second. So for the sounds here, the bass, the drum loop, and the cabassa pattern are all in the session view. And then if you hit tab, you can see all the sound effects and the little kind of brass stab. It doesn't matter which side you're on, whether you're on the session view or the arrangement view, you just need to click on the bass track and get to the pitch plugin. Now what we're going to do here is basically type in a series of numbers, and the numbers that we're interested in first and foremost are 0, which let's say that that's our root, the number 5, which is the movement to the chord position that's called the 4th, and the number 7, which is the movement to the chord position 5. So that means we're going to take this bass line and change it into a 1, 4, 5. The numbers we need to know are 0, 5 and 7. 0 corresponds to chord 1, 5 corresponds to chord 4, 7 corresponds to chord 5. It's a 1, 4, 5. Now what you should try and do is basically hit it just before it goes into the bar. Back to 0, type 0. Excellent. Now we're going to go for the 7. And then back to 0. We're going to go to chord 4, which is the number 5. Now we're going to go for the 7. Go to chord 4. 7. And then we're going to go to 0. Now you don't have to follow my numbers. My numbers are here just purely for illustration, because what you should be doing is experimenting, making the changes. Now my goal here is to sort of get you into the idea of actually improvising, because in many ways this is where you're going to discover some really interesting things. Now we're up to 7, here we go, 7. Back to 0. So some of the other numbers that I'd like to encourage you to use is -2. So -2 is a tone below. So for us, this basically changes the root center, or the key note, changes the center to G, from A down to G, down a tone. Back up to 0. So that's one of the moves that you can actually deploy here, and that will give you an interesting variation. Down -2. So we've got that. So that's -2. The next one that we can try is up 1 semitone. And this gives you a kind of a Spanish, what's kind of termed Phrygian. Up to 1. The technical term for this is the flat 2, the flattened second, and then back to 0. Now one of the things I like to do, as well as when you use the 1, the movement up a semitone, is to follow that up by going up to 7, which is up to the 5th. back to 0, 1, down -2. Let's just get used to the numbers, right? Go to chord 4, 7, back to 0. So let's go up to the flattened second, flat 2, which is 1. After that, I kind of like to go up to the 5th, so that's the number 7. And then back down to 0. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you like this sort of content, please remember to like and subscribe. You can download the project, it's in the description below, and there will be more of these sorts of consolidation activities. But what I would recommend is that actually you download the project and you just play around with those numbers. In fact, you can play around with any number that you actually want to do. But if you follow the ones that I've described to you, then these will give you a lot of useful variations that you can actually use to kind of generate some new parts. Remember that the project uses both the session view and the arrange view. It's not meant to complicate things for you, but it's just the way that I map the project out. Do enjoy it. If you like any of these ideas, then please remember to leave a comment, like and subscribe. See you next time.